The Penguin Who Loved Beaches. Once upon a time, in the farthest reaches of the cold, shimmering Antarctic, there lived a little penguin named Pip. Pip was unlike any other penguin in his colony. While his friends and family revelled in the icy winds, sliding gleefully on snowy slopes or diving joyfully into the frigid blue waters, Pip would often gaze at the horizon, his bright eyes full of wonder and longing. He wasn't sure why, but deep in his heart, he dreamed of warm sand and gentle sunshine, of waves lapping not against snow and ice, but onto soft golden beaches. Pip's dreams began on the day he found a strange object washed up on the ice. It was a colourful postcard, its corners curled from its long journey across the sea. On the front was a picture of a beach, with soft sand and tall palm trees, and children building castles under a sky the colour of sapphires. Pip stared at it for hours, mesmerised. He had never seen anything like it before. He imagined the sand between his webbed toes, the sun warming his feathers, and the sound of waves that did not freeze when they touched the shore. From that day on, Pip's dreams grew brighter and bigger. He began collecting treasure from the sea: smooth pebbles, bits of driftwood, and even a small bottle with a faded label that read Sunshine Soda. Pip built his own little beach on the edge of the colony, lining the snow with pebbles and driftwood. He would sit there, holding the postcard, imagining himself on the warm beach, far away from the cold. Other penguins found Pip's beach odd. "Why do you want to play there?" asked Tilly, his best friend. "Snow is much more fun. We can slide and swim and fish," Pip tried to explain. "I love snow, but I want to see what it's like where the sun shines all day and the sand is warm." The others shook their heads. No penguin they knew had ever left the Antarctic. Beaches, sand, and sunshine were things of stories, not real life. But Pip was determined. One night, as the southern lights danced across the sky, he made a wish. "Please, let me see a real beach, just once." The stars twinkled, and for a moment Pip felt as if the whole world was listening. Days passed, and Pip kept dreaming. Then, one morning, as he was collecting shells, he heard a strange, low humming sound. Curious, he waddled toward the shore, where he found a large, unusual boat floating near the ice. Painted in bright colours, it had words written on the side: Ocean Adventure. A group of explorers had come to study the Antarctic wildlife. When they saw Pip, they were delighted. Pip, brave and curious, waddled closer, his heart pounding with excitement. The kind explorers noticed his little collection of beach treasures and the postcard tucked under his wing. "You like beaches, little one?" one of them asked, smiling. Pip chirped in response, showing them his treasures. The explorers laughed and nodded. "How about a trip to see a real beach?" they suggested gently. With the colony's blessing, Pip joined the explorers. He was nervous, but his excitement was greater than his fear. As the boat sailed away from the icy continent, Pip watched the familiar snow and ice grow smaller and smaller until they disappeared from sight. He felt a little sad, but he knew he was on an adventure he had always dreamed about. Days passed on the open sea. Pip saw dolphins leaping in the waves, whales singing their haunting songs, and islands covered in green forests. The air grew warmer and the water sparkled in the sunlight. Pip's feathers felt lighter, his heart beating fast with anticipation. Finally, one morning, Pip woke to the smell of something new, salty and sweet, warm and inviting. The explorers pointed excitedly. "Look, Pip, there's the beach." Pip climbed onto the deck and stared. Before him stretched a vast expanse of golden sand, dotted with seashells and palm trees swaying in the breeze. The water was a brilliant turquoise, and the sun was shining so brightly that Pip had to blink. The explorers gently lowered Pip onto the shore. For the first time in his life, his webbed feet touched warm, soft sand. He waddled forward, feeling the grains squish between his toes. He flapped his wings in delight, rolling and sliding, just as he did on the snow, but this time on sand. The gentle waves lapped at the shore, cool and refreshing. Pip dove into the water, surprised at its warmth, and swam in joyful circles. Children on the beach laughed and pointed at the little penguin. Some came over to say hello, offering Pip shiny shells and building sandcastles with him. Pip was the star of the beach that day. He learned new games and even tried a bite of coconut, though he thought fish was still the tastiest treat. As the sun set, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks, Pip sat on the sand, postcard in wing. He felt happy, but he also missed home. The chilly wind, the sparkling snow, and his friends and family. He realized that, while the beach was wonderful, his heart belonged in both places now. The explorers understood. They promised Pip that he could visit the beach whenever he wanted, and when it was time to go home, they sailed him all the way back to the Antarctic. Pip returned to his colony, full of stories and memories. He built a bigger, better beach on the ice, sharing what he had learned with everyone. His friends helped him collect more treasures, and together they played beach games on the snow. Pip taught his colony about dreaming big and exploring the world. He told them that it was okay to love new things and to be curious, but also to cherish home. The other penguins listened to his stories under the shimmering southern lights, their hearts filled with wonder. And so, Pip the penguin, who loved beaches, became a legend in his colony, a symbol of courage, curiosity, and the joy of following your dreams, no matter how unusual they may seem. And whenever the ice sparkled under the sun and the waves whispered on the shore, Pip would close his eyes, smile, and remember the feeling of warm sand between his toes. From that day on, every penguin in the colony knew that even in the coldest places, the warmest dreams could come true. For those who dare to dream, the whole world is filled with adventure. And so, Pip's story travelled far and wide, from the icy Antarctic to sunny beaches and beyond. Children everywhere listened and learned that no dream is too big and no place too far for a heart full of courage and wonder. And whenever you see a penguin, remember Pip, the little penguin who loved beaches and who taught everyone that it's okay to dream of sunshine, even in the snow. And as the stars twinkle above and the waves whisper their secrets, remember, your adventure is just beginning and the world is waiting for your dreams. Good night, and dream of warm beaches, snowy adventures, and the magic that comes from following your heart.